Hello, my name is Nicolas. I'm from Uruguay. I've been supporting Sunderland since 2010. And how are the lads?
Ball's played in, kept alive, comes back in, shot from distance.
Goal!
Aaron Connolly scores his first goal for Sunderland!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Black Cats Chat, the Sunderland International Fans Podcast. My name is Lee Thirkell, I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and today to go over yesterday's game against Millwall, I'm joined by Ian Mcnee from the German Black Cats. Good afternoon, Ian.
Good afternoon, Lee. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. A bit of a hangover, but we'll less to said about
Hangover?
that. Less to said about that, the better, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a mini meetup yesterday in Bilbao in Johnny's house.
All right. Okay.
And our photograph got put on a hashtag Ask Danny, and
Okay.
that was when I was sober. So anyway,
We'll try to
and,
keep it early.
yeah, and I'm also joined again for the second time, Radoslav Karaasenov from the Bulgarian supporters branch. Good afternoon from Sofia, Radoslav.
Good afternoon, Lee. Good afternoon, Ian. And by the way, I have
Hi,
hangover
Radoslav.
as well.
You have a hangover as well. There we go.
Yes.
I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one.
I drank some beer yesterday as well, just to drown my sorrows, but I didn't drink too much, so I'm okay. I'm almost healthy.
I was on a birthday party after the game, but yeah.
You're
all
much
good now.
You're much wiser than us, Ian. You're much wiser and you're sensible,
Yeah.
and you know like how much is your limit. Me and Rado, we're still we're still getting there. We're still learning. Anyway, then, so yesterday we drew 1-1 with Millwall. I mean, listen, Ian, before the match we would have taken a point, wouldn't we, with the situation with injuries and suspensions, right?
I'd have taken your hand off for a point, especially at Millwall, and then Cirkin missing as well. I mean, six people, 6 regulars missing from the team. And then you have a look at the team, and I thought, what the hell did you do? Okay, it's being brave, throwing all those strikers on, but where they're all going to play, they can't all play through the middle. But as I said, if you'd have given him, if you would have offered me a point at the beginning of the game, I'd have said yes, I love it. After the game, disappointment doesn't come into it.
Yeah, it's like kicking the balls, isn't it, when you concede
It
that
is.
late? Because I thought,
Yeah.
listen, I thought we defended very well. Radoslav, then we had to make some changes. Patterson came back in goal for Simon Moore. Do you think that was the best thing for the club to put him back in?
Well, I think he deserves that. He has been always excellent with the number 1 shirt, so he deserved to be straight back in the team. Yeah. I think so. It was not a surprise for me to see him straight back into the starting 11.
Yeah, and the thing is that he hadn't missed any games for a very, very long time. So I
Yeah,
think that he has
exactly.
been missing for 3 or 4 games, but I think, listen, I thought it was time for him to come back in.
He's definitely our number 1, and yeah,
Yeah,
I was not surprised to him.
Yeah,
back.
and Radoslav, as Ian mentioned, Dennis Cirkin was also missing, and Adji Elise came in at left back. I thought he played very well. He was very athletic and strong.
He was excellent. Yeah, he was excellent at the start of the season when he played alongside Dan Bauer in the center of the defense, and again he was excellent today. I'm happy to see him back. Unfortunately, Dennis Cirkin, hopefully he is not injured very bad, and he will be okay to come back into the team for the game on Tuesday. But yeah, Hadji Elise was superb yesterday, as you said, very athletic. He won almost everything on the left side. So yeah, happy to see him back on the grass, and we definitely need that deep in the defense, because
the depth,
he's good on the left, he's good in the center of the defense. Definitely a solid player, and good to be back.
We've got options there as well. But did anyone find out what happened to Cirkin? Why he missed out?
I've read that he broke his wrist in the QPR game,
Rip.
which means he played in the Coventry game with a broken wrist. And if you remember, he's been wearing a bandage on his wrist for some time. I only hope that as soon as the international break started, directly after the Coventry game, they sent him to hospital. I hope the hell they didn't wait till 2 days ago before getting it done. You know, I mean, it's the communication coming out of the club ref that is a bit oblique. You know, they're not really showering us with all sorts of information. But that's what I've heard. He's broken his wrist and he could well be back for the West Brom game. But going back to what Radoslav just said, I thought that actually Lazy looked as though he'd never been away yesterday. It was a bit knackered towards the end, but that's hardly surprising given the way I had to work in the second half. I mean, it was like watching us playing Luton again in the second half. As regards Pato coming in for Bishop, for Moore, sorry, that's going back a couple of years. For Moore, Moore never did anything wrong, but as you say, Pato is the number one, and Moore said himself, when Pato's fit, I'll have no problems whatsoever about him coming back in. And I don't think you could put any blame on Pato whatsoever for the goal. And he stood up to what they threw at him anyway. You know, I mean, there's some big buckets in there who were trying to dodge him all over the place, but he held out. I'm not sure that Moore would have been up to that. So probably Pato was the best decision for yesterday.
Yeah. And Radoslav, yesterday we had Wilson Isidore centre forward, which is what we've all wanted. No, we didn't want him to be moved to the left, but we had like a front three behind him, which was completely new, wasn't it? It was Tommy Watson on the left, Mayenda on the right, and Connolly wasn't playing as a second forward. He was kind of been a bit deeper, wasn't he? Like a number 10 or a false 9. And I thought he did it okay in that role. I thought that role kind of suited him.
Yeah. To be honest, I was very surprised to see that all of them started the game. I mean, Mayenda on the right, Tommy Watson on the left, Connolly behind Isidore. So I was surprised that we started the game with all these 4 attacking players. But we started so brightly. We were dangerous every time when we went forward. So it was probably a good decision by Regis Lebris to start that way. And Connolly definitely was a little bit more dangerous than in the previous game when we played as a center forward. That kind of support he had from Isidore, the space he had, he looked sharp and dangerous yesterday for sure.
Yeah, I think that. Go on, Ian.
Sorry, I was just going to say I don't think that you play Connolly as an out-and-out striker for a start. He's too small. But he is nippy. If he can play off a big lad like Isidore, I thought Mayenda had a good game yesterday, even though he's pushed out to the right a bit. In the first half, I mean, the second half, none of them did anything. We couldn't get the ball done. We couldn't get the ball out of our own half. But in the first half, they were buzzing about. They weren't being bothered by the physicality of the Millwall defenders. Tommy was getting about. You know, he was cutting inside, trying to do his Jack Clark thing and what have you. Still running into too many people, but whatever. You know, at least he was trying. And Millwall just weren't at it in the first half. I thought, what the hell are these? Only 2 points off a playoff place. You know, where have they been picking up all the points? How did they beat Leeds? How did they beat Burnley? But we saw in the second half how they did it. You know, I mean, obviously. Sorry, Radoslav, yeah?
Sorry, I interrupted. I was just going to say with their direct style of play, that's the way they're doing it.
Yeah, I think Neil Harris would obviously put a rocket up their arse at half time or whenever, either during the injury break to that poor lad in the stands or at half time proper, which is a mystery to me why that happened, but nevertheless, we might get onto that later anyway. But it was chalk and cheese. It was 2 different games. I mean, it didn't help that the game would stop, go. That really took us out of our stride, without a doubt. And after the first break for the poor lad, I suppose he's having a heart attack or whatever in the stands, till they got that sorted out. We'd been in the changing rooms for 25 minutes, and we'd lost our impetus.
Yeah.
You know, we came out equal again, and Millwall thought we got a chance to get back into this. And in the second half, as I say, it was like watching them.
Yeah, I think Millwall might have been a bit shell-shocked because I think they were maybe expecting us to play three central defenders and wing-backs.
Yeah.
And I don't think they expected us to be kind of so attacking because it was an attacking lineup, wasn't it, to go to Millwall away?
I don't think they even knew how we were going to play. I had no idea how we were going to play. I mean, we had 4 forwards on there, but I didn't know where the hell they were going to be. So how are they going to work it out?
Yeah.
And I think we just took them by surprise. And because we were always going at them, I would have loved at least another goal, when not another 2. I mean, we had sort of half chances to do that. We would have put that game out of the side for them, you know. But because it was only 1-0, and because of the long drawn out pauses, and because Neil Harris seems to be a good motivator. I mean, he certainly came out a different team in the second half. And I honestly don't know what happens to us in the second half. It's the same as Coventry.
Yeah.
In Coventry, we came out and we weren't the same team. What's wrong with us? What happens to us?
We couldn't hold the ball.
No, we couldn't hold the ball at all. And Radoslav, talking about Watson and Mayenda, I mean, Tommy Watson, I think he's 18 now, and Mayenda's 19. We had Chris Rigg, who's 17. I mean, like, going to Millwall away, who are in a good run. They last 5 games, won 4, drawn 1. I mean, and I thought, like, in the first half, I thought they did really well. No, like, they got a couple of tackles, like strong tackles against them, but they didn't kind of they didn't let it affect them. No, they just got up and got on with it, and they just kept on and persistent. And I think that's like a good attitude, isn't it, to see?
Absolutely, it was a bold decision by the coach to put them all in the starting 11, and they played fantastic during the first, let's say, 40 minutes. Watson on the left, as Ian said, he reminded me of the style of Jack Clark, the way he played for us. Mayenda, strong, athletic, maybe not the best first touch in the opening minutes, but he created some good chances as well. Something that probably was not the best was the final decision, because we had some very good opportunities in the first half to score at least twice, but the final ball, the final decision was not the best. But yeah, these are young boys. This kind of game they will learn from, and I'm sure I can see Tommy Watson game after game. He is getting better and better with the first team, and I think he had a very good first half yesterday. The second half, it was difficult for everyone. We just couldn't hold the ball, and in such kind of games with direct play, it's very difficult for the young players to shine.
Yeah,
but yeah, they did excellent in the first half.
Yeah, and Ian, after 10 minutes, then we got the goal, Aaron Connolly, because it was a very fast start, wasn't it? It was like basically one end to the other, and then I think we started to get a grip of the game, and then I mean, Connolly's finish was very well taken, wasn't it, on the volley?
Yeah. Well, as you say, the first 10 minutes, well, actually, the first half an hour, I would say, it was 100 miles an hour stuff. You know, we were going at them. They came back on us to start with. Our goal took the wind out of their sails a bit. Connolly took it very well. I mean, he was lurking about the outside, the edge of the box, which is where he's going to be effective. It's no good sticking him in the middle with 6 footers. You know, he's never going to get anywhere near the ball. And it dropped beautifully to him, thanks to a poor header from their defender. But as you say, he put it away very well. I'm pleased for the lad. He's got his goal at last.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll give him a bit more confidence. He struggled in the past. Unfortunately, he got injured yesterday. I'm not sure what that's all about. It might just have been a touch of cramp or whatever.
Hopefully.
But I think he showed in the second half he's not a midfield player because our midfield was overrun.
Yeah.
In fact, our midfield didn't exist because their back four were getting the ball and they were just lumping it forward. Midfield didn't exist for anybody. Their midfield picked up the second balls. I mean, we did well on getting on the end of their long balls, but then their midfield were pouncing on the second balls and pushing further up. We needed to defend those second balls, and we weren't doing it at all. And Connolly is not someone who can.
Yeah.
I'm pleased that Alexis came on. I think he did okay, considering it's his first game. Didn't help he got booked, but whatever, you know. He had a good few touches, and he certainly did better than Connolly could in midfield. But Connolly going forward as a hanging striker rather than an out-and-out striker, I think there's a future for him there. We've just got to be patient with him.
Yeah, and Radoslav, I mean, last week I was listening to Total Sport on BBC, and one Sunderland fan called in, and he basically said, listen, Alan Connolly is a person, I wish him the best, but he's not going to be a success at Sunderland. And I thought that was very unfair, because it's very early to judge him, and I think he's basically he's made that opinion based on the Coventry game, and I think yesterday he kind of showed with the finish what he can offer the club. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's too early to judge the performance of Aaron Connolly. Yeah, probably he didn't have the best game against Coventry, but yeah, with the way he took the goal yesterday, the way he controlled that volley, he's a striker. He's a goal scorer, and I'm sure in such kind of we will see more goals like this. I mean, from nowhere he can score a goal, and he's a good finisher. So I believe it was a smart decision to take that opportunity with him. It's a free transfer, and I think both the player and the club will benefit from that transfer. And of course, I would wish that he will start getting better and better, and to pay off the fate the club showed.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a good player, definitely.
I think so, yeah. But
the experience he
has.
has.
System. Yeah, go on, Ian.
He cost us now. So it's no great gamble. I don't know what sort of money he's on, but I don't think it's
risk, isn't it?
He's got a contract to the end of the year, to the end of the season to prove himself. He's come out with his interview and he's put everything in the open. He's accepted that he's been in the wrong, and it looks like he's ready to
move on,
to change it round, to do his best. And I've got no problems with that. But I mean, you were talking about the Sunderland supporter on TalkSport. I mean, in this day and age of instant communication, everybody wants everything done yesterday. If you go back to our last season in the third division, or the first division as it is these days, Jack Clark was getting pelters. He was getting hammered every week. Yeah. He's the worst player I've ever seen. Get rid of the bugger. Look where he is now. I mean, we've got 18 million for him, for Christ's sake. Poor bugger's ended up at Ipswich and he's not striking bad. But I mean, that's not my fault. We got 18 million for him. And if we can get 18 million for Aaron Connolly 3 years down the line, I'll be overjoyed.
Yeah, well, even a couple of million, even a couple of million will do.
Absolutely.
People have got to be patient.
Yeah.
Every player needs time. Job, for example, as well. Last season, we saw some flashes. We can recognize that he's a good player, but this season he's on another level, I would say. And again, there were that kind of comments from fans that he's nowhere near to the first team, things like that. But he's
a lot of players,
proving
isn't it, Radoslav? Like Dennis Serkin also had a difficult start. Luke O'Nien, we know that. I mean, a lot of players. And like recently, it's been like Dan Ballard has been getting a bit of criticism as well. But I mean,
what?
Like, yeah, we know that like what kind of player he is, and everyone can have like a bad patch. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving on then. The stats for the first half were we had 4 shots on target in the first half, and Millwall had none. Yeah, so it just showed like they didn't create anything. Possession wise, it was pretty even, 53-47. Patterson had no saves to make in the first half. Compared to the second half, Patterson had to make quite a few saves. Millwall had 5 shots on target, 9 corners to our none
Yeah.
in the second half. So it just shows that we couldn't get up the pitch at all.
We couldn't get out of our half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was impossible.
Yeah, but anyway, mentioning that break, I mean, it was like tragic, isn't it, to see something like happen like that in the stands, an emergency. But
Yeah.
the players went off for half an hour. There was 5 minutes left of the match, in the first half. They came back out. They finished the 5 minutes, but then they went back in the dressing room for another 15-minute break. That didn't make any sense, did it not, Radoslav?
No, it was
No,
just
no,
it was rank stupidity to me. I mean, you got the players in the dressing rooms, and if you're good ref, I mean, I don't know what FA rules state, but I would have done it as a referee. I would have gone into both dressing rooms and said, "Look, this is going to take some time. Have your halftime break, your halftime talk now. When we go out, we play 5 minutes,
Yep.
and we swap round. We stay on the pitch. You can have a little break to catch up a bit on your tactical talks, swap round like you do at the end of 90 minutes before extra time,
yeah.
and then we start straight away with the second half. Coming off for another 15 minutes was absolute imbecility. I could not believe that they did that, unless it states in FA rules that after 45 minutes completed play of the first half, there must be a break of 15 minutes taken before the second half starts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been very pedantic.
Yeah.
It was a weird decision for sure. Maybe the referee didn't know how much time it will take, and the players went into the tunnel. And as Ian
but
said,
the fact that he's taking the teams off the pitch means that he's reckoning with that it's going to take some time.
it will take more.
Yeah.
And he could quite easily say, "Okay, we'll have the half-time break now," even if it's only 15 minutes instead of half an hour. You know?
But Radoslav,
Makes sense.
there's also a concern, no, for the well-being of the players, because imagine like these players are athletes, they've warmed up. No, they've done their warm-up, they've exercised, they've done their stretches, they come back out for 5 minutes, and then they have another pause for
And
another
then
15 minutes. So they've got to basically warm up again.
yeah.
So that can't be good for the muscles and the legs and all these, especially on a cold day like it was yesterday, I think, in London.
I was howling again, and it was
a
sleeting rain.
odd
you know?
decision.
Yeah, it was a very odd decision, and I think, I mean, it's hard to say.
And nothing happened in these 5 minutes, by the way. After that,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
It was nothing interesting happened, didn't it? And then, but
nothing.
anyway, apparently
Patterson touched the ball.
yeah.
Patterson had to push way along through it. It's the only thing he did in the first half.
Yeah, and then anyway, the second half we just didn't come out at all, and I think well, Connolly went off with after 58 minutes. I think he went off. Alexic came on. I think maybe he had a bit of cramp. I thought Alexic did very well, Radoslav. I thought he looked very bright. He wasn't scared for 18-year-old making his first start in English football. He was very direct. Listen, he was a bit raw, a bit naive, because he made a couple of mistakes when he lost the ball or he took a touch too many or touched heavy. But I thought his general intentions of going and get the ball and not being scared and going forward was what we've needed in the last few weeks. In
Agree. Yeah, he showed some flashes of what kind of player he is. We have only read about him, seeing some videos on YouTube, but from what I heard when we took him from Serbia, that he's a fine player, very good with the ball. He has very good eye how to continue the attack, to pass the ball, where to pass the ball. He's also I was told that he has a good strike from distance as well, and we can all see flashes from what he can do on the pitch. And yeah, as you said, I think he had good 30 minutes yesterday. Maybe not not the best place to make your debut in such kind of game in 30 minutes before the end. Your team is one goal up, and with that kind of direct play, Millwall was always pushing us in defense. I mean, pressure in the defense. Maybe not the best place to make the debut, but he did very well, I would say.
He did good. I
And
thought like he didn't look out of place. No, he looked like he belonged on the pitch.
yeah,
No, he wasn't kind of.
unfortunately, in the 92nd minute, we all know what happened. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But going on to Alexic's chance, no, in the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw it live, I thought he's got to score. Okay, but I've seen it back, and I think I've paused it at the angle when he strikes it, and he hasn't got much of an angle to go. Like he's wide, and he's got no support from the other players. Like Millwall have got three defenders back, and we've got two players there, but they're not in positions for him to pass it. So he has to go for the shot, but he hasn't got a very big angle to aim at. So it was a difficult one, I think.
Well, I'd like to think that if he sticks around, you know, that maybe his next year, once he's played a few games for us, that he would put that sort of chance away. But you've got to think about the situation he was in. He'd been on the pitch for 30 minutes. I've got to say, first of all, that he brought stability into the midfield. It didn't take all of the pressure off us, but it's helped to relieve a bit of the pressure. We weren't being so bombarded when he came on, but he was more effective than Connolly was. I mean, as I said before, Connolly's not a midfield player. He showed some good touches. As Radoslav said, you could see he was young. There's a couple of balls got away from him. He got booked for a silly tackle. I would have loved to have seen him put that chance away. Hopefully next year he will. But as you say, the angle wasn't all that great. But you said also that he had no support. The question is, where the hell were all our players then when they went up the other end and scored the goal? Yeah. If you have a look at the cross that came in, Adjalazy standing at the far post with three Millwall players around him. Where's our defenders? Luke O'Neill standing about 35 yards away from where he should be. Yeah. It looked as though Luke was trying to bomb down the right wing. I mean, I don't know what you watched yesterday, but on SAFC yesterday, Danny Collins put it in a nutshell. He said, we're all bombing up there trying to score a second goal, but there's only 2 or 3 minutes to go. Yeah. Let a couple of lads get up there, and okay, if they score a goal, great. If not, we've still got a defence, but it didn't happen. We all bombed forward. Yeah. Even the likes of Mcnee and Ballard to a lesser extent, where I think Ballard was injured towards the end of the game, so he wasn't going to be bombing forward. But we all pushed forward. Yeah. That's how they got the space to get down the left wing and bang it over to the right, where, as I say, Adji was alone. Yeah, 3 players around him.
He was alone, and like basically the guy who carried it forward for them, he was being chased down by O'Neill, Mepham, and I think it was Ballard. It might have been Neil. So when you've got 3 of your lads running back against one, you know you're in trouble.
That shouldn't we shouldn't be that far up the pitch in the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
If we were chasing the winner, okay, go for it. It doesn't happen.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least we should have.
Do you think
make a tactical foul? I believe.
That's what I was going to ask you. Should we like take one for the team? No, like Isidore had a chance. I think just like give him a pull on the back, get a foul, get back into position.
I think O'Neill made the tactical foul, but the play continued after that. And yeah, we should have done it again. I think Mepham had a chance at the end before the cross. Well, of course, you don't want to have a free kick near your goal in the end of the game, but it's much better than the situation we had at the end. Yeah. Definitely. But that's the inexperience we have in our team, young players. That's
because
the learning curve, I would say.
I think, like, if you look at the game in general, Millwall didn't really look like scoring. I don't think. I think we
Absolutely,
defended
yeah.
everything. But I think like Mepham, Ballard, and Elise were defensively very, very sound. So it was just
Very
like very
solid, yeah.
frustrating that we did concede the goal. But I mean, as we said before the match, we would have taken a point. Right, Ian. He only
Yeah.
made one sub, and it was clear that we needed more subs because, like, you've got Rig 17, Mayenda 19, Watson 18, who played the whole match, right? And we've
Who
got
are you going to put on from that bench?
but I mean,
okay, you could argue that Bar is there, but it wasn't that sort of a game. Bar is a forward player. You couldn't put him on.
yeah,
Oshish, I don't know what he's done to upset the breeds. I know they've got history from where Lorient, was it,
Yep.
where they were before. I know they got history from that. It could well be that Oshish is also playing up in training. You know, you don't hear what's happening in the background. As regards the other lads who were on the bench, they're all Bairns.
Yep.
I mean, our team was young enough to start with without throwing on more
Well, you
young
got
ones.
Ogun Suyi, Harrison Jones, Ben Middlemass. I mean, they're kind of like under
Yeah.
21 players.
That's the bench for the under 21s. That.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Radoslav, do you think Regis Lebris needs to kind of swallow his pride? Because obviously there's issues between him and Bar and Aushis, but does he just need to say, listen, we've had a disagreement, but now the team needs you, and I need you to play? Because it seems that he's
Well,
happy to put them on the bench, but if you're going to put them on the bench and we need fresh legs, we need players, they've got experience at this level from last season that they could like help a little bit, I think.
yeah, we don't know what is happening behind the scenes, to be honest. But as you said, they have the experience from the last season, but I don't think that they took their chance. They had so many chances last season to show that they deserve to play in the first team and they deserve to be in with the Sunderland shirt. But I don't think they took the chance, and they couldn't prove us that they should be on the bench. Even on the bench, we see that they were not involved in the squad at all since the start of the season, I would say. So I was surprised to have only one substitution yesterday, but that's Regis Lebris' decision, and I would say there is probably a reason for that. I don't think it's a disagreement between the players and the manager. It's more the trust
tactical,
he
you think?
has.
Yeah, trust, yeah.
Well,
Maybe the
look
trust
at how,
he maybe.
looking at how the players were trying to play in the second half, I think the only one I would have definitely subbed was young Tommy.
Yeah.
Because he just wasn't in the game at all. But then again, who's on that bench that could drop in? You could probably put Oshish on the left at a push. I honestly don't know. I honestly think he was more or less forced into putting Alexis on because Connolly got injured. Otherwise, if Connolly hadn't been injured, he would have left it.
Most probably.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, then. Well,
at least at the end, maybe in the last, in the last 5 minutes, we could have used the substitution just to
kill
pause
some time.
The game, to
kill
some time.
Yeah, but he didn't in the end, and as it did, it cost us. But I mean, listen, it doesn't matter. It's another point against a good team. But anyway, we've got a few minutes left, so we've got West Brom on Wednesday. Ian.
Yeah.
Job, Hume, and Roberts are back from suspension. It's a no-brainer, no? Like that, they go straight back in the team.
Job definitely. He's got to come back in. We've missed him terribly the last 3 games. And the QPR game as well when he got sent off, you know. So that's realistically 3.5 games we've missed him, and we suffered for it. 4 draws, which could have been victories. Hume, yes, for 09. I suspect that Ballard's injured. I don't know if you noticed, but Ballard was holding his calf again towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
And he was limping about. He certainly wasn't as quick as he'd been during the game. I suspect he'll be rested for Tuesday, and O'Neill will move back into the middle. Whether Dennis comes in for Adji, I don't know. Could well be that Adji's knackered.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the first 90 minutes. It's a very intense 90 minutes he's played as well. That he's played since 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So I suspect that Thirkell will come in there. Roberts, I don't know what's he brought to the game in the last few weeks. You know, but then again, I wouldn't put Tommy Watson on the other side because he's not effective on the right hand side, even though he's right-footed.
Yeah.
You know, left winger with a right foot.
Yeah.
I suppose Roberts will come in. My end would probably drop back to the bench with Connolly being. I suspect that Connolly won't even get on the bench on Tuesday. He'll be injured.
Yeah.
In inverted commas. You've got to have Wilson up the middle. Wilson, okay, he's a left footer. Maybe he's play on the left wing, but he's not a left winger.
He's not a left footer. Right, Radoslav, we've got a minute left. So, predictions for Tuesday against West Brom.
A draw. No, we'll win it 2-1. We'll win it 2-1.
I think 2-0. Clean sheet for the team.
Joe will get one of the goals.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can, because I think we've got a very tough week ahead. Tuesday against West Brom at home, and then Friday against Sheffield United.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough week, but hopefully we can get through it. Okay, right, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. It's been a pleasure as always, and well, I'll see you soon. And how are the lads?
How are the lads? Cheers. Anytime, Mara.
Hi, my name is Gianmarco. I'm from Italy. I've been supporting Sunderland since 2010. How are the lads?